Hello students, this is the second video of the chapter haloalkenes and haloarenes, and in this video we are going to discuss the uh, preparation of haloalkenes and haloarenes. Without any further delay, let me share the document which is going to help you understand the lesson better. I'm sharing the document with you. I hope you all can see the document right now. Let me zoom on to the preparation part. See, haloalkenes can be prepared in many ways. We are going to discuss some of the ways. The first way is very common one. We are using halogen acids or hydracids on alcohols. We know that alcohols are compounds having OH group. So in the reaction, we can see an alcohol is reacting with a halogen acid HX. Here the OH group is the leaving group of the alcohol molecule, and it is marked in red, and the X, that is the halogen, is the incoming group, that is marked in blue. And the product side, we can see that the halogen has inserted itself inside the alkyl group, whereas the OH group has left the alkyl group and formed water. The water has been written in the form of HOH, because we can show that the OH group has taken up the hydrogen from the halogen acid and produced water. Here X is chlorine, bromine, iodine, etc. In the next few lines, we are having examples of this reaction. We can see the alcohol molecule is reacting with HCl in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 to produce RCl and water. In this case, Cl from HCl has replaced OH in the alcohol and produced the alkyl chloride. In case of HBr, we use 48% of HBr using concentrated H2SO4. Here Br has replaced OH to produce alkyl bromide, and in the last case HI is reacting with ROH, where we are using 57% of HI. Iodine has replaced OH. We are using concentrated H3PO4 in this case. We are using anhydrous ZnCl2 in case of HCl, where ZnCl2 is acting as a Lewis acid. It is coordinating with the OH group of alcohol and thus making it more electrophilic. So the OH group can easily leave the alkyl group and Cl can get introduced easily. In case of HBr, H2SO4 is just catalyzing the reaction. In case of HI, we cannot use H2SO4 because H2SO4 is a strong oxidizing agent, and we cannot use a strong oxidizing agent like concentrated H2SO4 with HI. Then it will oxidize HI to iodine, that is I2, and that is going to decrease our reactant. So we don't want that. So we are using a non-oxidizing acid as a catalyst here. We will see the mechanism of this reaction. It occurs in two ways, either via SN2 or via SN1. In case of SN2, the reactant molecule is generally 1 degree alcohol. It takes place in one step only. You can see the step here. The alcohol molecule takes up a proton and becomes OH2 plus, and it is now a good leaving group. We can see here the OH2 has become OH2 plus. It is a good leaving group. It goes out and the halide comes in. Both of these things occur in one single step, and that is why this is the slowest step and this is the RDS, that is the rate determining step. The product that is formed is Rx plus water. In this particular method of reaction, we can see that only one step is involved, because that is the slow step. We see two molecules, that is the alcohol and the halide, both being involved. So we can see the rate equation that has been written here. In this rate equation, we can see both the 1 degree alcohol and the nucleophile, in this case it is the halide, both are involved. That is why it is a bimolecular type of a reaction. The other mechanism is SN1. Let me zoom in on SN1. SN1 is a two-step process. Here in the first step, this is the slow step or the RDS. In the first step, we see OH2 group leaving out, producing R plus. This occurs because in this case, R plus is a 3-degree carbocation or a 2-degree carbocation, mostly a 3-degree carbocation, which is very stable. The R plus here, this R plus is a 3-degree carbocation, which is very stable. In the next part of the reaction, this carbocation that has formed reacts with the halide ion to produce the alkyl halide. Now, because the slow step contains only the alcohol, that is why we can see in the rate equation only the 3-degree alcohol appears, and that is why it is a unimolecular reaction. The reactivity order is HI greater than HBr greater than HCl. We know HI is most reactive as compared to HBr and HCl, so that is why this is the reactivity order. The nucleophilicity order is iodide is more nucleophilic than bromide, and bromide is more nucleophilic than chloride. That is why the reactivity order is like this. The next method of preparation is using PCl3, PCl5 or SOCl2. These are halogenating agents. We use this with alcohols. We can see the next few reactions. In these cases, OH are the leaving group marked in red. Chlorine, bromine are the incoming group marked in pink. In the first reaction, we see we have a pentahalide of phosphorus. The byproducts are different in each case, whereas the main product is the same, that is the alkyl halide. In case of PCl5, we get RCl as the product along with POCl3 and HCl. POCl3 and HCl are the byproduct. In case of PBr3, that is the trihalide of phosphorus, we get the alkyl halide, that is RBr, along with H3PO3, which is the byproduct. And in case of SOCl2, that is thionyl chloride and pyridine, the solvent, we get an alkyl chloride as the product along with HCl and SO2. Now this reaction with thionyl chloride SOCl2 is considered best because we are having these byproducts. Both of these are gaseous in nature, that is why they go out of the products and makes purification very easy. So that is why we prefer thionyl chloride and it is considered best. We'll move on to the other processes. The next process which we are going to use to prepare alkyl halides is simple halogenations of alkenes by substitution. We just allow hydrocarbons to react with halogens by some light irradiation. Here we can see methane is reacting with chlorine to form methyl chloride, dichloromethane, chloroform, and tetrachloromethane. In all these cases, we get HCl as the byproduct. That is why it is written here. The reaction is not balanced. That has been written here because this is a complex reaction, and I have written all the products and made a consolidated product in this case. The next reaction that we see is that of the reaction of chlorine with propane. You can see two of the hydrogens are marked in red while one is marked in blue. Because these red marked hydrogens are having the same atmosphere and they are equivalent, whereas a blue marked hydrogen is having a different atmosphere, so that is not equivalent to the red hydrogens. In this case or such cases, we get different kind of monohalogenated product where all the isomeric monohalogenated product occurs. That is, every non-equivalent hydrogen can be replaced by a halogen, producing different kind of product. We will see the two products here. In one case, the terminal hydrogen has been removed and chlorine has got inserted. See, the terminal hydrogen has been removed. It has become CH2 in place of CH3 and a Cl has inserted. In the second case, the other product, we can see that the terminal hydrogens are intact, but the central hydrogen has been removed and a Cl has inserted in its place. So these are the different products that we can get when we are having non-equivalent hydrogens in a molecule. The next method of preparation is using halogen acids on alkene or alkyne. This takes place via two methods. Markovnikov's rule is being followed in one case, anti-Markovnikov rule in the other case. When we are following the Markovnikov's rule, we see that the negative part of the incoming group, that is the group being added, goes to that carbon which has less number of hydrogens. So the red marks group, red marked part of the incoming group goes to the red marked carbon, and the blue marked hydrogen goes to the blue marked carbon because it is having more number of hydrogen atoms. So H goes to this particular carbon and Br goes to this particular carbon. We can see the product here. The H has gone to the terminal carbon and Br has gone to the central carbon, and we have got this particular product. We can see the mechanism here. The double bond first picks up the hydrogen. Now it can produce two cations. We have only shown the major cation that is being produced. You can see here the 2-degree carbocation that is being produced, that is hydrogen went to the terminal carbon, creating a vacancy here. That is why the plus charge has been formed at that carbon, and we have got a 2-degree carbocation which is more stable. A bromide ion that is which came out after the abstraction of hydrogen from HBr attacks the carbocation and forms the product. We can see the similar kind of a reaction with propyne. Here also, according to Markovnikov rule, hydrogen is going to go to this carbon containing greater number of hydrogens, and bromine is going to go to this carbon containing less number of hydrogens. We can see the product here. Hydrogen has gone to the terminal carbon and bromine has gone to the central carbon. The double bond is there, so this can further undergo addition reaction. Now in the anti-Markovnikov rule, we can see that the opposite case occurs. Hydrogen goes to the carbon having less number of hydrogens, and the negative part of the adduct goes to the carbon having more number of hydrogens. So that is the product, and we can see the product being formed. The halogens has gone to the carbon having the greater number of hydrogen atoms. You can see the mechanism. It undergoes a free radical mechanism. First is the chain initiation step where the free radical is being formed. Here, this is the particular free radical that has been formed. This breaks up further, leaving out carbon dioxide and forming a phenyl radical. Let us see. This phenyl radical then further in the second step goes and reacts with an HBr, abstracting a proton and creating bromine radical. After abstraction of proton by the phenyl radical, it becomes benzene. PHH is nothing but benzene, and we have got Br dot. This Br dot then further reacts with propene, breaking it up and producing a radical, while the Br gets attached to it. Now, if the Br gets attached to the terminal carbon, we get a 2-degree radical, and if the Br gets attached to the central carbon, we get a 1-degree radical. We all know that 2-degree radical is more stable than 1-degree radical, so the major product comes from the 2-degree radical. The 2-degree radical then in the next step takes up a proton from HBr, and we get another Br dot. Now you should note that this Br dot produced here as a product is also used as a reactant in the above step. So that is why these particular reaction goes on and on like a chain reaction till the reaction is terminated, where 2 Br dots or 2 free radicals combine to form a molecule without an unpaired or without having any kind of a free radical. This is the mechanism how the product is being formed. Now the next reaction that we are going to discuss is allylic halogenation. We use two reagents here, NBS or SO2Cl2. If we have to insert an allylic bromine, we use NBS, that is N-bromosuccinamide. If we have to use, or if you have to insert an allylic chloride, then we use sulfuryl chloride or SO2Cl2. See the product side, the important thing is that the double bond is intact. There is no change to the double bond, and the halogens have all attached itself to the allylic carbon. So this is the importance of the reaction. The reagents, that is NBS and sulfonyl chloride, has been shown here. These are the particular reagents that we are using. We should not mix up sulfonyl chloride with thionyl chloride. Anyways, we should move on to the next reaction. The next reaction is Finkelstein reaction. Finkelstein reaction is a simple halogen exchange reaction where we use sodium iodide acetone to replace the halogens like bromine or chlorine from an alkyl halide. Iodine replaces it. Br and Cl are the leaving groups marked in red. Iodine is the incoming group marked in blue. We see that the alkyl iodides have formed, and NaBr and NaCl are the byproducts here. Similar reaction is Schwarz reaction, where we insert fluorine into a particular alkyl halide and replace the halogen there. Bromine and chlorine goes out. These are the leaving groups marked in red. Fluorine is the incoming group marked in blue. In order to attain this product or alkyl fluoride, we use inorganic fluorides like Hg2F2, SbF3, AsF3, etc. Other inorganic fluorides can also be used. These are the inorganic fluorides. These are most commonly used, so have been mentioned here. The next reaction is Hunsrücker reaction. This is the reaction between a silver salt of an acid. Here silver acetate has been taken along with bromine in presence of CCl4, which is a solvent here, and heated, and we get an alkyl halide. That is, one of this bromine goes to this carbon. Carbon dioxide comes out, and another Br goes with Ag. So we get this product AgBr, CO2 and CH3Br. If we are using iodine in this reaction, then the product that is obtained is not that of an alkyl iodide, but an ester along with carbon dioxide and silver iodide. This reaction is called Birnbaum-Simony reaction. Using halogens on alkene or alkyne, the halogenation method can be another method to prepare alkyl halide, but we get polyhalogenated product here. We can see ethene molecule is reacting with bromine in presence of CCl4, and we have got an addition reaction. The two bromine are attached by the manner of anti-addition. We can see the mechanism here. The alkene molecule strikes one of the Br, which is delta positive. The Br, which is delta negative, goes out in the form of Br minus. The Br having delta positive charge forms a bromonium ion, which is unstable and is attacked by Br minus ion further, producing this particular product where we can see the two bromine atoms are anti or opposite in direction to each other. This is a process by which we can prepare vicinal dihalides. Vicinal dihalides means where the two halogens are placed in carbons which are adjacent to each other. So this is one carbon, this is another carbon, which are adjacent to each other, and these are called vicinal dihalides. The next reaction that we are going to see is the use of PCl5 on ketone or aldehyde. Here PCl5 reacts with aldehyde or ketone to remove the carbonyl oxygen. Two chlorine atoms get attached to the particular carbon containing the carbonyl oxygen, and we get geminal dihalides. The structure for the reaction for acetone can be shown here like this. POCl3 is the byproduct in both cases. This addition of or insertion of two halogen to the same carbon creates the geminal dihalides that we were talking about. So these are the processes by which we can prepare alkyl halides. This will be all regarding this particular video.